Hey guys, this is Nick and welcome to my Linux experiment. Whether you're an old-timer or newcomer, you probably have heard about Wayland. It's the next big thing, it's gonna put old x.org to rest, it's gonna bring so many improvements to performance, everybody's working on it. And still, since 2010 it has failed to materialize over and over again. So I think it's time we take a look at what is Wayland and how ready it is as of today. Let's take a look right after this. This video is sponsored by Kernel Care Enterprise. Keeping servers safe, compliant, and ensuring constant uptime becomes a full-time job that has to be automated. To do that, you need a live patching tool that integrates with automation tools and vulnerability scanners, that is supported with the latest patches, that lets you decide what patches are rolled out across your organization, and that runs inside the firewall. Kernel Care Enterprise does all of this. It provides you with more integration, more support, and more control. It works in your local infrastructure via ePortal, a dedicated patch server that runs internally but outside your firewall. This server acts as a bridge between internal patch servers and the main Kernel Care patch server. This approach is ideal for staging and production environments that need strict isolation from external networks or require more stringent control over the patches to be applied. Try Kernel Care Enterprise for free by clicking the link in the description below. Okay, so what is Wayland? Well, Wayland in itself is just a protocol. It's not an application that you can install. You can't type sudo apt install Wayland. It doesn't work like that. It is a specification that has to be implemented by a compositor or a window manager. Now, most distributions have been using the aging x.org display server. This thing has been created in 1984, and the X11 version that we still use today dates back to 1987. It didn't have a single major version update since then. It is an old beast and it has a lot of craft, a lot of code wrapped around it. It's basically impossible to evolve for the modern world. So Wayland is poised to put that old beast to pasture, but for what benefits? Okay, so let's take a look at x.org first. It's based on a server-client model, which has been used because at the time they wanted one single rendering station to be able to display multiple screens at the same time using the same hardware. So they had an X server running on the main machine, on the one that had the graphical power, and the little terminal clients that they had just ran X clients that called to the X server itself. So it's a server-client model, which means that you have your X display server, which communicates with the hardware through the Linux kernel, so the mouse, the keyboard, the GPUs, the touch devices. You have the compositor, which draws the windows and positions them on the screen, and you have the X clients, which are basically the applications. That's the model of the X server. Now, imagine you wanted to make a window appear on the screen. You're going to click with your mouse on the file manager icon, for example, and this application will open. It's then going to tell the X server that it wants a window. Now the X server will then talk to the compositor, telling him, hey, I want a window. What are the details of the window? The compositor will then say, I don't know, for what do you need a window? And they're going to chat a long time over to know if the window should be active or inactive, where it should be positioned, what are its dimensions, what are its contents, and is it resizable or not? All of this information takes a little bit of time between the X server and the compositor. And once the compositor has all the information, it gives the information to the X server. The compositor draws the window itself. The X server tells the application that the window is ready, and the application displays its own content inside of the window. This is a sturdy process, but it's also very long and introduces a lot of delay. Now, Wayland has a simpler model because on Wayland, you don't have a server. The compositor is the server itself. So basically, when you open your file manager window, the application will tell the compositor that it needs a window, and the compositor will get all the details from the application itself without any back and forth. The compositor will then tell the application to draw its own window and its own contents with a few parameters that the compositor has calculated. So yes, on Wayland, the window manager or the compositor doesn't draw the window himself. It's the application that draws its own window. It's what we call client-side rendering. Now this is why you can't just switch from x.org to Wayland just like that, because the roles that were fulfilled by the toolkits, GDK or Qt, by the window managers, Kwin or Mutter for GNOME, by the applications themselves, these roles aren't the same on x.org and on Wayland. which means that you have a lot of work to port over the libraries, the window managers, and even sometimes the applications themselves to make use of Wayland instead of calling to x.org protocols. It's a long work, and this explains also why Wayland hasn't materialized on every single distribution yet. That's a lot of effort. But in the end, what are the benefits of Wayland? Well, as we saw, you've got less input delay between the moment you click something and the moment it's displayed on the screen. When you're going to resize a window, move a window, it's going to be more fluid, more smooth, there's going to be less delay. It's also going to have more performance because there are less moving parts implicated in the process of displaying windows on your screen. And the codebase is also going to be way leaner because Wayland doesn't have 33 years of crust to port over. It's a newer codebase, a newer architecture, which is more modern and which is going to be easier to evolve as years go by. But that's not all. There's also the issue of the graphics drivers. Because the graphics drivers that currently exist, which are the proprietary NVIDIA driver, the proprietary AMD driver, and the open source Mesa drivers for Intel and AMD, these things have been written for x.org, not for Wayland, which means that they have to be updated as well to be able to communicate with the compositors and display the things in respecting the Wayland protocol. Now this has already been done. The Mesa drivers use a standard called GBM and they're already updated and well and stable for Wayland. The NVIDIA drivers though, they took a different route. They thought GBM wasn't efficient enough and they created their own standard, which is called EGL. And since NVIDIA doesn't seem to be willing to back down on this standard, this means that every Wayland compositor, if it wants to work on all machines and all devices, this compositor will have to support two competing standards, GBM for the Mesa drivers and EGL for the NVIDIA proprietary drivers. This is an issue, and this is also why NVIDIA hasn't been on point with Wayland recently or at all, because the community is focusing on the open source solution on the standard, which is GBM, and EGL is coming as a second thought. Okay, so if the drivers are updated, if the desktop environments are updated, so why isn't Wayland here? Well, it's already there for a lot of distributions. First, GNOME supports Wayland through Mutter, its window manager and compositor. KDE also supports Wayland with Kwin, its window manager and compositor. And the toolkits GDK and Qt, which are the main toolkits for KDE and GNOME, also support Wayland as well. Now in terms of distribution, Fedora ships with Wayland by default if the drivers allow it since 2016. Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 8 also uses Wayland as the default. Debian also uses Wayland as the default on their GNOME session, as does Manjaro since November 2020 if you're using GNOME, provided that the drivers allow for it. So who's missing? Well, basically the two big hitters in the Linux desktop world, which are Ubuntu and Linux Mint. But why haven't they switched yet? Well, I don't have the exact reasons why these guys haven't tested the waters yet. What's certain is that all the programs written for x.org are not working well on Wayland. Some programs have been written specifically for x.org, for example f.lux, which is a program that lets you change the color temperature of your screen as the hour advances during the day to limit blue light emission. This thing doesn't work on Wayland because it uses x.org specific protocols. Then you also have gaming. Wine and Proton expect an X server to work, and they haven't really been updated to take advantage of Wayland, which means that gaming on Wayland is theoretically impossible. Except the Wayland developers have thought about this, and you can call as a Wayland client an X server. This is called X Wayland. This means that your main device will run Wayland as the display server, as the compositor, but one of the applications that's going to call to Wayland is an X server, which is going to be used to run the game. It works in most cases, but it also has issues in terms of displaying the actual game's contents or rendering the mouse pointer. Sometimes it gets dropped in the process. It's not 100% stable yet, but the performance is already there, as this test article from Foronix shows. The performance is virtually identical when running X Wayland or when running the same game in the X server directly, which is a very good thing. No performance hit. Now, Wayland and Wayland-enabled compositors are also not as stable as the tried and tested x.org, and that's normal. It's a younger protocol, and the major implementations have only started like 4 years ago, only on Fedora, and the rest have followed suit bit by bit. So it doesn't have as much testing, and this means that Wayland won't be as stable in all cases. It's generally very good in day-to-day use, provided that you use the Mesa drivers for AMD or Intel. On NVIDIA drivers, your experience will be more hit or miss. Now, since Wayland isn't a complete drop-in replacement for x.org, this means that the desktop environments also had to re-implement some stuff on their own. And this means that some basic features that worked on x.org now don't work really well on Wayland and have to be re-implemented. Take, for example, this release from KDE 5.20. You had a re-implementation on Wayland of middle click to paste, of supporting the clipboard manager, of adjustable mouse scroll speed, or of screencasting. These are super basic features, but they just arrived in October in KDE Plasma. They weren't supported on Wayland before. This is an issue because this means that you can't just switch to Wayland like that, because you're gonna miss some features that already work. And as long as you don't have feature parity, I don't see the major distros like Ubuntu or Linux Mint moving to it. And this is the holdup for moving to Wayland. It doesn't have feature parity yet in terms of desktop environments, and the support for NVIDIA proprietary drivers is not there, which means that major Linux desktops do not want to take the jump right now, because it would break the experience for a lot of their users. These two reasons are, in my mind, enough to justify waiting for Wayland. The improvements are mostly under the hood. User-facing changes are virtually not there or non-existent, so it's not worth it to take some slashes in terms of features and lose some of them just to move to the newest things. It's okay to wait. But I'm honestly very excited to see where Wayland is going to go, because we need a modern, stable base for our systems, if just because x.org is not suited to work, for example, on Linux phones or on Linux tablets. This is where Wayland really shines because it can do stuff that x.org can't, and it's a way leaner, more stable, and more performant code base. So this is the future of the Linux desktop. This is where we are going to go. But how long it's gonna take is not up to me. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't hesitate to like or dislike if you didn't. If you're a specialist in terms of Wayland or x.org, don't hesitate to correct me if I got something wrong. This is a pretty technical subject. And you can also subscribe and turn on notifications, all of you, just if you want to support the channel. And if you really want to help the channel grow, you can also join my amazing Patreon subscribers and YouTube members and get access to a weekly Patreon cast and the right to vote on the next topics I'll cover. Now, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!